Hi, my name's Katie and I'm a Water Resources Agent for Clemson Extension. This is my friend Karen and she's a Water Resources Agent too. She's trying to figure out if this stream is a healthy habitat. How can you tell if a stream or pond is healthy? It might be difficult to tell just by looking at it. You can sample chemical conditions like pH, dissolved oxygen, temperature, and water clarity. Another way to quickly assess water quality and habitat provided by the water body is by sampling aquatic macroinvertebrates. Aquatic macroinvertebrates are organisms that lack an internal skeleton and can be seen without a microscope. Aquatic means they live in water. The presence and diversity or number of different species of aquatic macroinvertebrates can give us a pretty good idea of how healthy an aquatic habitat is. The types of species present can also tell us about the health of our stream or pond because some macroinvertebrates are more sensitive to pollution than others. Today we'll talk about several different macroinvertebrates and we'll classify them as sensitive, somewhat sensitive, or tolerant. A tolerant species is able to live in a water body even if it has been heavily impacted by human activity and pollution. A somewhat sensitive species can handle somewhat impacted environments, and a sensitive species needs a very healthy aquatic environment to survive. Let's take a look at 3 different water bodies and see what macroinvertebrates we find. Our first stream is in the Dee River Basin. This stream receives runoff from a mix of neighborhoods and wooded areas. Runoff is water that runs over the ground and may pick up pollution along the way. Let's take a look at what Karen's found. These are cranefly larvae. They are somewhat sensitive species that feed on dead leaves at the bottom of the water. This makes them very important parts of stream habitats as they help break down leaves and prevent them from building up and filling in the stream. Cranefly larvae spend anywhere from 6 weeks to several years in the water, but only survive for less than a month once they have emerged as adults. Many of the macroinvertebrates we'll see today have complicated life cycles and look very different as adults. This is what an adult cranefly looks like. We also found a freshwater clam in this sample. It's a somewhat sensitive species with a fleshy body enclosed between 2 clamped shells. In this video, you can see the clam moving across the bottom of the tray using its foot. Our next stream site is located in the Savannah River Basin. This stream is surrounded by forest and is mostly unimpacted by human activity. Karen is using a D-frame net to sample along the bottom of the stream near rocks. It might look like Karen is just holding a bunch of sticks, but there are actually macroinvertebrates in there. This macroinvertebrate is called a case-building caddisfly. It's a sensitive species that builds a protective case using items found in the stream, like sand and leaves. Using these natural materials can help them camouflage or hide from predators by blending into the environment. This is what an adult caddisfly looks like. This is a flat-headed Mayfly nymph. You can see that it's very flat, which helps it cling to rocks in fast-moving water. You can also see its gills moving in the water. It's a sensitive species that can't tolerate pollution and requires plenty of oxygen in the water. This is what an adult mayfly looks like. We also found a stonefly nymph in this stream. Stonefly nymph are a sensitive species that can only survive in moving water. If it's trapped in still water, it will quickly die. Here's an adult stonefly. The last water body we sampled was a pond in the Catawba River Basin. We used a different sampling technique here. In the streams we've seen so far, Karen used a D-frame net to scoop leaf litter and macroinvertebrates out of the stream. In this pond, we put out leaf packs, which are mesh bags full of dead leaves. Aquatic macroinvertebrates will crawl into the decaying leaves to hide or feed. We tied the leaf packs to metal stakes so they wouldn't drift away and came back after a few weeks to see if there were any macroinvertebrates present. This is a midgefly larva. It's a tolerant species that can live even in polluted areas. Large number of midgefly larvae found in stream samples may be an indicator of poor stream health. This is a dragonfly nymph. It looks a lot different than the adult dragonflies we see flying around, right? Dragonflies start their lives in the water where they can stay for up to 4 years. They have large mouth parts for catching prey, and they can move around quickly by shooting water out of their rear ends. This is an adult dragonfly that has only recently emerged from the water. The dragonfly nymph had to crawl out of the water and shed its hard exoskeleton, which you can see clinging to the mushroom that it's sitting on. This adult dragonfly will stay here for a little while to dry out and finish extending its new wings before it flies away. I hope that you enjoyed learning about aquatic macroinvertebrates and how they can be used to monitor stream health. Thanks for watching.